And the more calls you make, the more relationships you build, the more you're going to build your pipeline. Because at the end of the day, without a pipeline, you at best will be a one-hit wonder. You have to be consistent with everything and anything. And the same goes for sitting open houses and however you're going to build your business and maintain your business and your pipeline. It's all about consistency. Find what works for you and double down on it. Welcome back to Rise Above the Ranks, brought to you by Estate Media. I am David Parnes, and today we are tackling one of the most important yet often dreaded parts of real estate: cold calling and prospecting. Let's be real, no one loves making cold calls, but the truth is, mastering prospecting is the difference between agents who struggle and those who consistently close deals. Because let's be honest, it's all about the pipeline. The best agents know how to turn cold leads into warm relationships and ultimately into clients. And before we dive in, if you're serious about leveling up your real estate career, join Elite Agents, which is our exclusive coaching community. You'll get direct access to me and other top agents through live Q&As, hands-on coaching, and proven strategies to help you stay ahead in this industry. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Why prospecting, cold calling and prospecting still work? Now, I haven't, and it is the irony, I'm speaking about cold calling and prospecting. I don't really cold call that much, but the way I prospect is through my network. So direct outreach is something that I'm going to focus on, and go through your phone book, right? People think if their name isn't in your phone book, then you don't know them. It's interesting because you're typically only 1 degree from separation from a lot of people, pretty much anyone to a degree, especially if you've been in this industry for a while. So you can go through your phone book, and it's not just the names of the people in your phone book, it's also who they know, right? Those people that are your clients, former clients, potentially future clients, friends, family, whoever they are in your phone book, are not just potential clients or existing clients. They are a great source of referral. And the more calls you make, the more relationships you build, the more you're going to build your pipeline. Because at the end of the day, without a pipeline, you at best will be a one-hit wonder. You'll close a deal, big, small, medium, whatever, and then you'll be like celebrating, and then you'll turn around and you'll think, wait a minute, where is my next deal coming from? And the key is you can't get carried away with that one deal or with your escrows. You've always got to be thinking, what is coming next? And making phone calls, prospecting is a huge deal. In fact, I was sitting in my office few weeks ago, and I was going through my phone book, as I do, not just because I wanted to prospect, but also because I wondered who I could catch up with. Who have I not spoken to in a while? Who do I want to check in with? And, I checked into a friend of mine who's a general contractor who's built houses for me in the past, because I build houses as well, and just checked in, just said, how you doing? Are you busy? I said, I've got someone that I can refer to you that's building a house. And I said, if you know of anyone who wants to list their house, let me know. He goes, no, of course. So I gave him the referral. And 2 days later, I get a call. And it's another contractor. And he's saying, so-and-so gave me your name and number. And, I'm working on a house. And I'd love you to get in there. They're quite far along the line of choosing an agent, but get in there and I'll set you up a meeting. I was like, great, no problem. So I went to meet with them, sent my listing presentation, jumped on it straight away. They were about to sign with another agent and they liked me. So, I was honest. I just did my spiel and told them what I really believe in. And I got the listing and we sold it very, very quickly. Now, the moral of the story is, had I not been flicking through my phone book, even though I know that guy that referred me to whoever else, it was timing. Timing was key. Had I never made that call, I guarantee you I would not have been in that listing meeting, which means I wouldn't have got that listing and I wouldn't have got that sale. So it's very, very powerful. Use what you have. If you're going to cold call, no problem. If you're going to call your phone book, check in with people, see how you can help them. And in turn, they're going to help you anyway. Very, very powerful. A lot of people as well talk about social media only. A lot of agents solely rely on social media. You can use social media. Social media is great, but it's not a be-all and end-all. It should be used in conjunction with prospecting. And prospecting, like I just mentioned, can take many forms. It can be cold calling to get leads. It can be literally calling your phone book. It can be going out and networking. Effectively prospecting is meeting new people, and you can meet new people through existing contacts as well. So, a tip that I would give to agents is, and I think, with anything in life, is consistency. There's no point of doing social media if you're not consistent, posting a video every now and again. There's no point of, cold calling if you're not going to follow up. You have to be consistent with everything and anything. And the same goes for sitting open houses and however you're going to build your business and maintain your business and your pipeline. It's all about consistency. So most agents, this is about winning the mindset. It's really important to have that mindset, because sometimes you don't want to pick up the phone. Sometimes you don't want to make calls, right? But most agents fail at prospecting because they approach it from the wrong mindset. Instead of thinking, I have to sell something, look at it as though you're helping. You're calling up. Listen, I will call up people in my phone book just to see how they're doing, because I genuinely want to know how they're doing. And also perhaps how I can help them as well. It's kind of the I can't, we can mentality, whereby, I want to go out of my way to help someone. I want to go out of my way to check in and see how someone's doing. If there's anything I can do to help. And then what happens, happens. And for some reason, the laws of the universe end up happening. But don't look at it as though I got to sell something, that's why I'm doing it. Do it because you're genuinely checking in. Also, confidence. I don't like scripts. That's just me. Some people use scripts, no problem. But I just like to be myself. I think that all of my clients that I've worked with and continue to work with, they work with me because of me, not because of someone I'm trying to be that I'm not because I'm reading from a script. I just want to be myself. And actually, most of my clients, I get on with their friends, their family, they're people that trust me and I trust them. And they trust my judgment. They trust my judgment. I don't make things up. If I don't think something is a good buy, I'm going to tell them don't buy it because of so-and-so, right? If I think something's a great buy, I'm going to tell them it's a great buy because I genuinely believe in it. So I think it's really, really important, but sounding natural is important, and just being yourself. Being yourself is so valuable, because you want to build a business, you want to build a network, you want to build a list of clients that you truly like working with, that truly trust you because of who you are, not because of what you're reading. Consistency. I think with anything, again, back to the consistency, your efforts will pay off. And I think you've just got to be consistent about everything, and that goes from open houses to, checking in with people, and dealing with rejection as well. Like, the reason consistency is so important is because you're going to get rejected a bunch of times. However you try and grow your business, you're going to get no's, you're going to get canceled escrows, you're going to get clients going with other people, other agents to list. You're going to go with, sellers going with other agents to list. You're going to go with buyers working with other agents. You're going to lose deals. It's just part of the process. And, I've seen some of the most successful agents who I've looked up to and tried to emulate lose deals. They do. But what I've noticed is when they lose something or something doesn't go their way, it's like water off a duck's back. They just move straight on to the next. And that's very powerful in itself. So just to sum up, though, before every call you make, just remind yourself you have something valuable to offer. You're here to help. You're not there to bother anyone. You're there to see how you can help, give advice, check in, see how someone's doing, and take it from there. I think in general, when you're dealing with clients, making calls, I think you need to have some sort of preparation, because at the end of the day, if you want to add value, if you want to call someone up and actually add value and tell them something that they don't know about their house or about the market, know your numbers, like research the recent sales, look at the market trends, look at the neighborhood stats. The last thing you want to do is call someone and not have something to offer, or call someone and not really know what you're talking about. I think personally what has set me apart and has really helped me throughout the years is I'm passionate about what I do. So I'm obsessed with my market. I'm obsessed with the comps in Bel Air, Beverly Hills, Hollywood Hills, wherever it is. I'm obsessed with it because I build houses, I sell houses. I have a vested interest in this market, and I have a genuine interest in architecture, real estate, people, and frankly, just the whole of Los Angeles, the terrain, the topography, the weather. It's just the retail, the restaurants, the location, the walkability, the style, everything is the interiors. I can go on and on. You've got to have a passion for what you do at the end of the day, and that's going to help drive an obsession of knowledge of the market. I don't look at what's sold recently because I have to. I look at it because I'm genuinely interested. So I think that's really important. Research the recent sales, look at the market trends, look at the neighborhood stats. These are all important pieces of information that frankly are accessible to you and that you can share with clients and really help them. I think prepare your mindset. Start with energy and enthusiasm, be excited. But I think that all stems from having a genuine interest in what you do. And I'm lucky that I have a genuine interest in what I do. So I'm always going to be enthusiastic about it. Sometimes be open-minded as well. Like, your client might tell you something that you don't know, which is great. You'll learn from them and you'll teach them. And that's a relationship at the end of the day. People talk about scripts and the perfect opening lines. Again, just be yourself. I can't reiterate that enough. Be yourself, because that is who you want your clients to want to work with. You want to build your book of business from people who genuinely like you. And be yourself. If you don't know the answer to something, don't make it up. Say, I'll get back to you. And again, be yourself. I've never really sold anything before. I just kind of have conversations and speak to people and speak about real estate. I think the more natural you are, the better, frankly. I think handling objections in general, if you do meet someone and they, you're having a conversation with them and you're speaking about a listing or potentially listing their house and they're not interested, I'm not selling, or they already have an agent, that's totally fine. I mean, at the end of the day, no problem. I think it's important just to be there as a source of help, but keep contact with them. Just say, listen, if you change your mind in the future, let me know. But check in, check in occasionally. See if they want to know what their house is worth. See if they want a market update, check in to see how they're doing. Be a human being. It's not all about, deals. Sometimes you just want to check in to see how someone's doing and, start a relationship that way. I think that, prospecting beyond calls, yes, making calls is one thing. Picking up your phone and looking through your phone book is one thing. But there's other ways to prospect. Sitting open houses is a huge one. I used to sit open houses every single weekend because for me, it was like every single time I'm sitting an open house, I am directly interacting with real buyers and potentially real sellers. And sometimes people send an open house update. They sit there for 3 hours and they're like, oh, just looky-loos came through. Neighbors, nosy neighbors. And that kind of makes me think to myself that they're not seeing it from the correct perspective, because a looky-loo or a neighbor, in my eyes, is a potential seller in the future. To get FaceTime and meet people who live around that neighborhood, not only are they potential buyers, but they one day may want to sell your house. So the impression their house. So the impression you present to them is huge. You want them to remember you. You want to get their contact details. You want to keep in touch with them. You want to give them updates on the market. You want to check in with them, see how they're doing, because those looky-loos are potential listings for the future, especially if you're farming an area. So it's very, very, very powerful to sit open houses and not look at the glass is half empty. Look at it as the glass is half full. And that example about looky-loos, I don't call them looky-loos. They are potential sellers in the future. Big deal right there. And again, back to consistency. The best way to prospect is stick with it consistently. Find what works for you and double down on it. And it doesn't have to be one thing. You can sit open houses consistently. You can be making calls consistently. You can be out meeting people, networking consistently. You can be sending newsletters out. You can be prospecting through social media. Personally, I would do everything. You're going to be, some people are drawn to one more than the other. That's fine, no problem. But I wouldn't also put all my eggs in one basket. All these formulas, all these ways of generating business are proven. So I would do as much as possible, as often as possible. And that's what I got to share. So that's a wrap for this episode of Rise Above the Ranks. Prospecting is not about selling. It's about building relationships. The more conversations you have, the more deals you'll close. Join Elite Agents, our exclusive coaching community, where you will get direct access to us through live Q&A sessions, hands-on coaching, and insider strategies to help you dominate your market. If you find this helpful, share it with a fellow agent and make sure to subscribe for more real estate insights. Drop a comment with your biggest prospecting challenge. I would love to hear that from you. See you next time. Thanks for joining.